Okay, this video is an introduction on Ohm's law and the components that make it up. So Ohm's law has three variables. First variable is the V. The V stands for voltage. And we can think of voltage as pressure, kind of like the pressure coming out of a water hose. It's also denoted as volts. The second variable that we have in Ohm's law is the I. And the I stands for current. And current, you can think of it as flow. If we're keeping the same analogy of water. Water has pressure and water also has flow. And that is denoted as amps. And sometimes we use the letter A to represent amps, just like we use the letter V to represent volts. Thirdly, we have R. R has to do with resistance. And resistance could be as work. And that is denoted as ohms. And we use the symbol of omega. Kind of looks like a little horseshoe. Now, this is Ohm's law. And when we put this together as a formula or an equation, it looks like this. V equals I times R. Now, there's times that they will substitute the V for an E, and the E will stand for energy. So you would to see this equation or formula in this manner, it's still being referred to as Ohm's law. Now, there's a diagram that is used to help you memorize this equation and the three different components. The diagram is sometimes noted as a triangle. With the V at the very top portion of the triangle, followed by an I, and followed by an R. Now, the purpose of this is that whatever you cover, whichever letter you cover with your fingers, so for example, if we were covering the V, then we're looking for V, and this is the equation that we would arrive to. If we're covering the I, Okay. Then we are looking for I. Now make a note that this part here, it's already kind of set up as a fraction. Okay. So we can use this triangle to help us memorize that if I cover the I, then my equation changes to V over R. And I'm looking for current or amps. When I covered the V, I was looking for voltage, okay? Now let's see what happens when we cover the R. So now we cover the R. What do we see? We see V over I. And these are the three different ways that we can manipulate Ohm's law, depending what we're looking for. Okay. So if we're looking for I, cover the I. If we're looking for V, we cover the V. But we can manipulate the formula in three different ways and use the triangle as an aid, depending what we're covering. And we're able to find each part of Ohm's law. V, we're looking for voltage here. So we have to multiply current times resistance. I, we're looking for current here. And we divide voltage by resistance. And lastly, we're looking for resistance here. And we cover and we divide voltage by current. And those are the three parts of Ohm's law: voltage, current, resistance. There also be other occasions that your instructors or whoever's teaching you this concept will draw a circle, and instead of a triangle, they split it up in this manner, but still the same thing. We have voltage at the top, current at the bottom, and resistance. Okay, and again, you draw this on your paper or anything that you're working on, it's a great point of reference. You cover the V, it's like multiplying right here, I times R. You cover the I, it's like dividing V over R. Cover the R is dividing V over I. Same things applies with the circle below. And finally, make a note, as I said prior, that sometimes that V, it's not a V, but an E. Okay, so if you see an E, it's referring to voltage energy. Sometimes people use those two terms interchangeably. Thank you for watching the short video on Ohm's law.